Welcome to the Women in Web3 Gala. My name is Bella Mokhtari, daughter of Sara Kazimi, one of our amazing hosts tonight. Tonight, our focus is going to be empowering women to shaping future innovation. Enjoy our gala.
The World CSR Foundation and the World Orphanage Foundation welcome aboard the FantaSea for the Women in Web3 Gala. Tonight, under the stars of Marina del Rey, we gather to celebrate a new era, one where technology has a heart and leadership has a purpose. The gala is a moment where brilliance meets compassion and where women across the world unite to shape the future of innovation and humanity. Before we begin, we would like to thank our generous sponsors and partners for their incredible support in making this evening possible. If I could have Sara and Jing come up here, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, thank you so much for being here, taking the time out of your busy schedule on Saturday. Thank you for Jing being an amazing partner. I will be with you guys for the rest of the evening. Thank you so much.
Please enjoy the sunset, music, and networking as we set sail into an evening filled with inspiration, collaboration, and connection. To officially open tonight's celebration, we are honored to welcome a visionary global leader, a woman whose leadership bridges continents, inspires communities, and advances innovation with compassion. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Jing Zhao Cesarone, founder and CEO of the Global CSR Foundation and chair of the UN World Women Organization Global Women Leadership Summit. Thank you, Jing, for your powerful message and your leadership with purpose. You remind us that true innovation is not only about technology, it's about humanity.
Thank you very much. Dear distinguished guests, partners, and friends, such a great joy to see old friends and new friends here today. I'm so happy to see earlier today, partially of our group had a great discussion upstairs and had a wonderful networking. So now the night begins. So, today, Women in Web3 Gala, our theme is empowering women to shape the future of innovation and humanity. It is such a joy to reconnect with old friends and new friends. As we look around the rooms, filled with visionaries, change makers, creators and entrepreneurs. We are more than just technology. We are humanity at its best. We are living in a time of breathtaking transformation, artificial intelligence, Web3, blockchain, quantum computing. These are not just the technology. They are the language of progress. But the question before us is profound. How do we ensure that technology serves for humanity, not the other way around? So today our message is, one of the messages I want to deliver is technology with heart and leadership with purpose. In the next decade, technology will rewrite every system we know, from finance to art, from education to healthcare, but the heart that guides this transformation must be human. Women bring empathy, collaboration, intuition, and resilience. These are the qualities that ensure innovation remains not only intelligent, but also inclusive. So when we talk about technology with heart, we're talking about using AI to heal, using blockchain to build trust, and using Web3 to empower creators and communities. We're talking about designing a future that reflects our shared humanity. And when we talk about leadership with purpose, we're talking about leading not just for profit, but for people and the planet. Purpose is not a slogan, it is a compass. It's what gives direction to innovation, meaning to progress, and soul to success. So we are in a new era, here and now. The new era is not just coming, it's already here. The digital revolution has flattened borders and amplified voices, but it also reminds us that inclusion does not happen automatically. It must be designed very intentionally. Today, women are funding blockchain startups, leading AI labs, and building green technologies, and reshaping digital economy. Yet, women still face structural, cultural, and technical barriers. Women remain significantly underrepresented across STEM and emerging technologies. Only 22% of AI professionals and less than 10% in blockchain and crypto are women. Female founders receive under 3% of venture capital in Web3 sectors, and limited access to networks. The gender gap begins early in education and extends through hiring, funding, and leadership. That is why the gathering today here matters, because connecting is the fundamental of progress. Together, we are not only breaking glass ceilings, we are building new frameworks of leadership, decentralized, diverse, and driven by values. Yes, this new world brings incredible opportunities, but it also demands courage. AI brings efficiency, but also ethical dilemmas. Web3 brings freedom, but also complexity and risk. The pace of change can inspire us or overwhelm us. So none of us can do this alone. We need support, we need collaboration, and we need communities. We need allies, men and women, innovators and investors, policymakers and educators, working hand in hand to ensure that the future we build is a fair, safe, and human-centered. And we must mentor the next generation of girls to not just use technology, but to create it, to own it, and to lead it. We are here to connect ideas with action, capital with creativity, innovation with empathy. Each of you here represents a spark, and together, those sparks will light up a new ecosystem where technology and humanity grow in harmony. As the stars shine over Marina del Rey, may the room be filled with the magic of ideas, of connection and compassion, together across cultures and generations. Let's turn inspiration into action and make history as women who shape technology with heart and leadership with purpose. The future is written by the hearts and hands of those who dare to believe. Let us honor compassion and let us commit together to shaping a future where innovation serves humanity and where every woman has the tools, the network, and the confidence to lead. I'm very happy today we have our guest from UN Global Compact with Innovation Studio, and also we have our different guests. We'll have panel discussions on the topics that will help women, empower women. I do strongly believe the divine timing. We talked many times with our colleagues and partners. The divine timing of right now is a breaking point for a lot more women leaders and entrepreneurs and founders to be empowered by all these wonderful technology tools. Earlier, we had the discussion upstairs about all these wonderful technology tools will bring wings for our women to thrive. So with that in mind, I welcome everybody to today's Women in Web3 Gala and wish tonight is a great success. Enjoy. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm your Master of Ceremonies this evening, Mevish Khan, and it's my honor to guide you through this remarkable program. Together, we'll hear from pioneers shaping the digital future, proving that with technology is guided by heart and purpose, it becomes a force for good. Our first keynote speaker represents one of the United Nations' most forward-looking initiatives, driving sustainable innovation across the world. Please welcome Ms. Meredith Story, Senior Manager of Programs and Engagement of the UN Global Compact and Principal for Responsible Management Education, presenting UNGC Innovation Studio. Thank you, Meredith, for reminding us that innovation can be both powerful and purposeful, advancing equality, inclusion, and global impact.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jing, for having us here tonight. Thank you to the Global CSR Foundation for making this evening possible for all of us. And thank you, each and every one of you, for welcoming us into this event. The metaphor is not lost on me that we are really sailing into the future together. And I didn't quite know what to expect when I was invited along to this day of activities, really. And speaking to Jing over the last 2 months in preparing for all of this, the urgency was really kind of given to us of, you need more, you need to be able to connect better with these communities, that these communities have so much purpose, mission, and values, all of which has been touched on already. But to come at this from the UN lens and the business education lens has really been, an interesting and powerful experience for me, because these are not the individuals that I have the privilege of talking to on a daily basis. So throughout the day, I've learned already so much, and the big ideas that float through this room are really palpable. On that note, though, you might be asking yourself, what on earth is the United Nations doing on this boat? And so to that, I just have to say, to listen and to learn and to reflect on what all of you are doing out there in the world, and to see what we can take away. Because in the UN, we pride ourselves on really taking a look at the world, a stock of what's going on around us, and trying to make intelligent choices for how to move forward, for better or for worse, but to learn from those that are better than us and that are around us, and to surround ourselves with good people who do know exactly what's going on. And to look at the comments that were made in the morning session here, it was wonderful. To quote Yuri quoting Steve Jobs, the friends that you all keep in your garage are really phenomenal people, and wanting to learn from those experiences is something that we value at heart. The part of the UN that I am from is the UN Global Compact. The UN Global Compact is the connection between the UN and for-profit businesses. It's the part that we try to work with more than 20,000 businesses around the world in order to work on purpose, values, mission-driven work, to make that the core mandate, not to make that the add-on. And within that process, what we look to do is to connect educators, to connect students, to connect what the future of education can look like, to really develop quality education at the heart of what it means to do good business. We look to principles of anti-corruption and poverty and climate change, but we also have a more global scope. And what the issues that we try to address are through the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. And these goals cover everything from personal health and well-being all the way up to peace, justice, and strong institutions around the world. Like, it really is quite a big scope of things that we hope to address by 2030. But at the end of the day, it's individual action and individual commitment and growth together that really help to make the difference on that. In the Global Compact, there is an education initiative, which I and myself are a large part of, and we work together to try to advance the issues of sustainable development in a more meaningful way. And I don't know how many of you went to business school or have friends in business school, but you'll know the textbooks move slowly, and the professors move even more slowly, if that's possible. What it takes to be an economics professor is a great passion for economics, but not necessarily a love of teaching. You're probably a great researcher, but you're not bringing that fire to your students on a daily basis. And there's a lot of fire in this room, and it moves so quickly compared to what a student receives in the classroom as their usual, business as usual, education as usual experience. So through working with the Global CSR Foundation and hopefully learning from the expertise that we have here, we are launching the Prime UN Global Compact Student Innovation Studio. And what this is a connection between the students and the real change makers wanting to see entrepreneurship at the core of what the student experience is. Taking that passive classroom experience and just making it one small component of what it means to be in business school, and moving forward to that active experience. There's a 3-stage process where we have a seed funding, component. That seed level is really that first layer to separate those good ideas from the great ideas, to really get into the heads of what can work in this situation. Then there's that second layer of really, what can we bring to market? What can we bring value to? How can we learn who stands out from the pack and bring these ideas forward? And the third layer, my favorite layer, is the she leads layer. So it's looking for female leaders in entrepreneurship that maybe wouldn't have had that recognition otherwise. They probably had those good ideas, but we know that ideas and opportunity are not always a one-to-one experience. So we want to move forward to make sure that these opportunities meet the students where they are. I said the Global Compact has 20,000 businesses. Prime has 900 business schools. So we've worked with students all around the world. We know that there are good ideas out there. There's seaweed packaging, there's blockchain for healthcare, there's AI innovations all around us. These students are already making a difference, but it's taking from that kind of average, all right, we're going to go out there and give it our best shot, to really working with the people who have been out there taking shots and taking chances. We really are looking for mentors in this space. We're looking for people who are willing to be champions of this cause. We're looking for folks who have kind of been knocked around and know what it takes to get back up and keep on moving forward. So if this sounds like you, if this sounds like something that you're able to be interested and passionate for, then please come talk to us. Please connect with Prime and the UN Global Compact, with the Global CSR Foundation, and we hope that we can take this forward together. So if I can have you raise your glasses just to the students of the future and to their big ideas, and hopefully to the mentors that are sitting in this room. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Our next speaker brings creativity, media, and empowerment together, helping redefine what ownership means in the digital age. Please welcome Geneva Wasserman, Executive Vice President and Global Head of Film and TV Development at Dentsu, with her keynote, The Ownership Economy. Thank you, Geneva, for reminding us that ownership is not just about assets, but about voice, agency, and purpose in an interconnected world.
Wow. Thank you so much. What an honor to be in a room here with leaders who, in one way or another, are shaping and transforming technology and entertainment and media, which is, I think, as Jing said so well, is the future. The future of technology and the stories that we're telling. You're the people who decide what gets built, what gets funded, and what captures the public imagination. And today I want to talk to you about the shift that is fundamentally reshaping how value is created and who gets to participate in it. And we're calling this, thanks to Yuri Ferruccio, the ownership economy. Let's start with the obvious. For the past decade, the dominant model in tech and media has been access. Streaming gave us access to infinite libraries. Platforms gave creators access to audiences. Marketplaces gave consumers access to goods, services, and even community. Access has been powerful, scalable, efficient, global. But access did something else. It separated creators, fans, and participants from the value they were generating. And in that gap, the ownership economy was born. The ownership economy is a simple idea with profound implications. The people who create value should also share in its upside, not as a perk, not as a marketing hook, as a fundamental architecture of the product. We're seeing this mindset materialize across sectors. In gaming, players want not just to play inside the worlds, they want to participate in building and owning parts of those worlds. In entertainment, fans want deeper involvement in the IP they champion, beyond likes, views, or merchandise. In consumer brands, loyalty is no longer passive. Consumers want to be co-creators and co-owners of cultural moments. And in technology, platforms built on user-generated content are realizing that long-term durability depends on aligning incentives, not extracting from them. Ownership changes behavior. It increases loyalty, contribution, and advocacy. When people feel, I helped to build this, they act differently. They stay, they invest, they evangelize. But here's the real reason that matters to everyone in this room. Ownership is the ultimate moat. It transforms customers into partners, fans into stakeholders, and creative communities into engines of economic durability. I want to highlight three major forces pushing the ownership economy from theory into inevitability. First, the shift from centralization to participation. For years, platforms absorbed more of the value while users absorbed more of the work. But as creators have built global fandoms, as fans have built billion-dollar franchises through engagement, and as players drive the growth of entire virtual economies, the imbalance has become impossible to ignore. This isn't a rebellion, it's an optimization. Aligning incentives simply creates better products. Second, the collapse of the distance between creator and audience. Technology made everyone a storyteller, a builder, a producer. Communities now play an active role in shaping what gets made, whether that's influencing storylines in entertainment, driving viral adoption in consumer products, or mobilizing around a game or IP with franchise potential. In that environment, not recognizing the community's economic contribution is not just outdated, it's a missed commercial opportunity. Third, the new strategic value of IP. We're entering an era where intellectual property isn't just something a studio greenlights, it's something communities ignite. The stories, characters, and experiences with staying power are the ones people feel ownership of, emotionally and increasingly economically. The next generation doesn't just want to consume worlds, they want to belong to them. So what does this mean for investors and executives? It means the most valuable companies in the next decade will be those who build value with their communities rather than around them. It means IP strategy has to evolve from protect and license to cultivate and co-create. And it means the platforms that win will offer economic alignment, not just functionality. It also means we need to be intentional. The ownership economy isn't about handing out random tokens, points, or perks. It's about designing models where the growth of the ecosystem lifts everyone involved. Ownership doesn't replace great products, great storytelling, or great technology. It amplifies them. And for the entertainment and media leaders here, imagine franchises where fans help shape worlds and see real value in their contributions. Imagine formats where talent, writers, and creators have built-in upside as their audiences grow. And imagine communities that don't just show up on opening weekend, but stay for years because they feel like a stake in what they have helped to build. For the technology and venture leaders, imagine platforms where participation is rewarded with ownership aligned to usage and contribution. Imagine user growth driven not through paid acquisition, but through people invested literally and figuratively in the success of the product. Imagine retention curves that look nothing like anything we see today because the economics finally match the behavior. This is not a speculative future. It's unfolding now, right before our eyes. The companies that embrace it will see stronger network effects, stickier communities, and more durable economics. And the ones that dismiss it will watch their users and eventually their value walk out the door. The ownership economy isn't a trend, it's a correction, a realignment of incentives long overdue, and a massive opportunity for anyone bold enough to build it. As leaders, the question in front of us is simple. Do we want to keep creating products that people use, or start building worlds, platforms, and stories that people help to build? Because the future belongs to the latter. Thank you.
Moderating this conversation is Tamara Book, CEO and founder of Dynasty Business Development Holdings and co-founder of Waves of Love. Please welcome our distinguished panelists. Esra Osterk, Head of Product, Greer Griffin, Partner of McDormott Will, Rosalind Panda, Founder of Oculus Tech LLC, and Marina and Brandy Vale of Being Investments and Yes Network. Together, they'll explore how technology guided by empathy and ethics can truly empower the next generation of creators and leaders. Thank you, and our visionary panelists, for demonstrating how women are redefining innovation with both brilliance and heart.
So I'm excited to introduce you to some of our panelists tonight. All right, so we have Brandy Vale of Being Investments and Yes Network. Brandy is in the Web3 and ownership economy. She's a visionary leader helping communities bridge mindsets, media, and money through decentralization, education, financial literacy, and learn and earn models. So we're going to learn more from her tonight. the next speaker that we have is Ezra Oztark. Ezra is the head of product at LAFA, where she leads product strategy and execution as the company evolves its secure messaging platform into the next generation of fan loyalty and technology. She has a career spanning in Meta, Uber, Zilla, and Instacart. She brings a proven record of building products that combine user insight, trust, and scale across some of the world's most recognized consumer platforms. Rosalind Panda, next. Rosalind is the founder of Jupiter AI, IO specializing in AI, Web3 serving United Nations sustainability goals, founder of Oculus Tech with AI, cybersecurity, empowering digital transformation, and the founder and oil paintings artist at Rosalind Arts Gallery. Yes, and then we have Greer Griffin. Greer is a partner at McDermott, Will, and Schultz, and one of the leaders of FinTech and BlockTech practice. She holds both a law degree and a master's of public administration from the University of Pennsylvania. All right, amazing. So we're going to have some insight from these ladies, all leading the way in the Web3 space. So I'm going to start with Brandy. Brandy, you're best known for being a visionary, being one of the first women to have artwork on the moon. Share with the audience about your process and challenges you may or may have not experienced.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, host, for bringing us together. The very first thing I said when I got here was, wow, it feels so good to feel at home. People know what I'm talking about. Right? Legal, and Web3, that's very different. My name is Brandy Vale, transformational educator and president of Being Investments. Being Investments is the global board of advisors of visionaries. People who are willing to put their feet out there and actually get dirty and to hear what is needed in our world. When I was invited to bring my artwork to the moon, I thought, this is what? I did what? What are you talking about? Space Blue is the original curators of the art assets on the moon. We have over 1 billion in assets, now valued at 7 billion. We've created a new financial model. No longer is it just RWA, real world assets, it's RMAs, real moon assets. We created a new asset class. Can you believe it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We can do whatever we want. It's our life, right? I'll keep it simple. No challenges, just you gotta stay curious. You absolutely, in the day in AI, have to be a real creator. We are the unlimited supply of intelligence, and no one and no thing will take away our job, because we don't have a job. We never did. We're creators. We cannot stop until we are done creating, and then we create again. So I just want to say, having moon assets, what that means is then I put together a joint venture, because 8 billion people want to see and go to the moon, see the artwork, but they can't. So we've created a multiverse with Binance is our on-chain payment gateway. You can come and see the artwork there. You can come and host your event. So if you're interested in that, we had to create a multiverse in order to make it real. And so that's what we're doing, and I'll pause right there. Thank you.
All right, amazing. So as you can see, we have a very diverse panel here. Now, another question for Brandy. The ownership economy challenges traditional ideas of wealth and contribution. How do you see Web3 reshaping the way we value creativity, collaboration, and community, especially for women entrepreneurs and innovators?
We all have some sort of intuition, right? By a show of hands, intuition. Are we intuitive? but women. Come on.
Woo! Yes.
I sat next to a dear one here and she said, oh, I'm a Gaian. And I had just got off a call with the founder of that adventure, right? Web3 allows us to be who we truly are because it's transparent. It is connected. It is tracked, traced, and monitored and rewarded for our benefit. And I believe that intuitive machines are not only just what we observe, but we are actively creating it. And so when you think about wealth, it's an entirely different model. Entirely. When people say fintech or tradfi, I think, well, that's your mama's banking. Right? It's not our mama's banking anymore. It's our banking. We are the bank. We are valuable. And everything that we do is asset worthy. And in that asset class that we are now putting on chain, and be careful, friends. Be very careful of where you invest. Because it's not all decentralized. It's centralized. Not bad, not good, not who cares. But it's up to you to invest wisely. So this new model, it's not new. It's just now we have a place to exchange from, and you get to own it. Be careful, again, of what you own and how you use that ownership. So I go around and I talk about financial literacy to the young ones. I do believe that learn and earn is a real thing. I believe that in the near future, that kids will have their own wallets, institutions will have their own wallets, the schools will have their own wallets, and they'll be business partners from day one, even as early as in vitro. Think about that. As a mother, you know the Social Security number was coming, right? They were coming in there, going to get you to sign off on that document. It's a similar thing where we're moving. But if you own your own data and you have your own wallet, the second that that kid lays eyes on a computer screen, that one should be rewarded. They should be rewarded. And that is the wallet. That is the new enterprise. That is the new model. So I'll pause right there. There's a lot more coming. Thank you.
All right, we're going to pass it over to Ezra. Ezra, you're the head of product at Lufa, and you lead the product strategy and execution. So, women shaping the future. As head of product in Lufa, how do you see women driving innovation and leadership in today's AI and digital transformation?
Yeah, first I can just shed a little bit of light on what Lufa does. So currently Lufa is a decentralized messaging platform. You can think of it like a Telegram or a WhatsApp competitor. We are building the future of fans interacting with their creators in a secure and private way, and empowering fans to work with their creators in a way that exhibits loyalty and allows them to earn rewards for their loyalty. So we actually have a spin-off company that we're working on right now, where we will have an operating system that provides the infra to white label some of our clients and provide them with the rails to reward fans for their loyalty. So those rails, you can think of them as the ability to earn points, identity status, access different tiers, which unlock different experiences for them in the digital world as well as the physical world. So an example of that is if you support a UMG artist at a venue, you accrue points there, and then you go to a hotel and you check in, you earn points there. You go to the retail store, you earn points, etc., etc. And your family and friends do the same, and you all have your own identities stored in your wallets that are portable and flow across these digital and physical spaces. It's really exciting because we really believe that, you know, loyalty should not be siloed the way it is right now with points. It's very transactional. It's not siloed in the real world, and so we want it to be a reflection of that and allow you to carry your identity throughout. It also allows people to show up in these spaces and really meet other members of the community that they wouldn't have met before. We have a better flow of information, better protection of their information, but we empower them to connect in these physical spaces and meet one another in a way that is very innovative and new. So one of our clients that we are working directly with, that I also lead product for, is Universal Music's Hospitality and Lifestyle Group. And we're working together hand in hand to build this coalition where you can interact with a Universal Music hotel, go to a concert venue, and the more that you participate and the more that you routinely show up and the more that you refer other people into these communities, that's how you get rewarded, not for spending $1. And that's exactly how the ownership economy works. The more that you provide your time, which is our most valuable asset, and the more that you provide thought leadership into these communities, you get to earn for those actions, which is really exciting. And you can think of that coming into fruition in an exciting way. It's like earn instead of buying. So, for example, instead of buying VIP, you can have a superfan section at these concerts. You can think of Billie Eilish, and superfans sit right next to VIP. And to be a superfan, you have to be in the top 100 fans. And that's through actions that could be customizing merch for her, listening to her music, but it could also be Billie saying, I want my fans to be healthy. Take 8,000 steps a day for the next month, and you'll be in this specialty tier access, double the points, etc. You can also think of it as getting early in with an artist. When you join an artist at one of their early shows, you can get a collectible digital asset in your wallet that says you were one of Taylor Swift's first 3 fans. And that gets you discounts for life as Taylor continues to grow her community in a hypothetical where Taylor's not Taylor Swift in today's day and age. So that's what I'm working on. I'm very excited about. And to your question directly of how we see women driving innovation and leadership in today's AI and digital transformation, we're rebuilding social infrastructure, which means we think deeply about how humans form belonging, not just how they perform online, and that shift is being led by women. Women tend to design from context rather than control, emotional intelligence rather than extraction, pattern recognition rather than brute force, and AI can automate these tasks, but it can't automate trust, it can't automate identity, and it definitely can't automate cultural meaning. So women are influencing this new wave of tech by refusing to separate logic from intuition, and that balance, analytical precision with embodied understanding, is exactly what's needed to build technology that supports human depth instead of flattening it.
Amazing, thank you for that. Now, my next question for you is, technology is evolving fast, but human connection remains at the core. So how do you balance innovation with empathy when leading teams and building new products?
Yeah, absolutely. So from the team perspective, how do we design teams that are empathetic and balance that with innovation? I think at first you recognize that great ideas can come from anywhere. And it's very hard for humans to break their own psychological biases. We all have them. But recognizing that people can come from all walks of life, look any which way, and those ideas, sometimes from the underdog, historically have been the ones that produce mass value at scale, especially when it comes to consumer technology. I think that is the right way to build teams, being really open to the right people, regardless of what they look like, where they came from, and not having a preconceived notion of what CTO looks like, or a operational leader, whether that's English isn't their first language, they live in the Midwest. Like a lot of times when we think of tech, it's San Francisco centric, etc. You get the examples. Great talent comes from everywhere. So I think building teams in that regard is really important. When it comes to innovation and empathy, I think it's very important to design products with the end user in mind. So instead of focusing on vanity metrics or what we would call addiction loops in product, you focus on the end user. What do we want them to say? What do we want them to feel? What problem are we solving for them? A great product experience solves a painful need in a way that feels very intuitive, and it's like this aha moment of, wow, like somebody has taken a burden off of me. Something is more efficient, it's safer, it just makes sense. Whether it's getting me from point A to point B physically, it's solving something that I've been struggling with that maybe takes a lot of time, whatever the problem is, and having empathy for the end user. And the last thing that I'll say is, besides designing for the problem in mind and then working backwards and thinking about the end user, I really believe in equitable experiences and inclusion. So when we're thinking about the end user, their pain points, not thinking of it as one person who's able-bodied or one person who, you know, I could talk about this for a long time, but how artificial intelligence and technology is historically not built for people with darker skin tones. And facial pattern recognition has a really hard time detecting people with darker skin tones. And we're not building technology for the world, we're building technology for what people who look like us need. And that's wrong, right? So I really try to think about solve the problem, really get crisp on what it is, build it with empathy, solve the pain point, and then make sure that that is inclusive, it's equitable, you're solving it for everybody of all walks of life.
Yeah. Thank you. So no preconceived notions about anyone.
Exactly.
All right, great. Well, thank you for that. Next, we're going to move on to Rosalind. And Rosalind, as the founder of Jupiter AI, Jupiter AI, specializing in AI, we would love to hear looking ahead, what excites you the most about the intersection of art, AI, and digital ownership? And how do you envision women shaping the future of how we create, collaborate, and claim ownership of our work?
Thank you, Tamara, first of all, for this wonderful question. Because everybody in this room can relate to all that is asked about. We are creators, we are artists in some way or form, we are technologists, we are homemaker, we are also economists. So many roles we play, right? And AI comes into picture and into our day-to-day life. No matter what we do, we can't just avoid AI being an indispensable part of our life these days. And me being an artist, I'm an oil painting artist. So let me take you back to time where when we were creating as creators, and we didn't have any ownership, or I would say another word, authorship, right? We didn't have any authorship about our creation processes. But these days, based on blockchain, the technology that is empowering us, because of that, all the creators, the content creators, makers, artists, they can call their creation theirs, and that can be traceable from beginning to the end, right? And it can be inherited. An asset can be inherited. It can be traced from A to Z. So that gives us power. That empowers us. I have been working in several 500 Fortune companies such as Google, Bank of America, many financial institutions, also healthcare companies. Only one question comes when we start any project. How many human lives are we empowering? Are we empowering them or making them dependent? Right? Technology, innovation, it makes every one of us, not just women or men, gender agnostic. It empowers, and humanity. This Tamara just asked, how technology is touching humanity. So with the purpose which is our vehicle, which is coming from our core, aligned with our vision and innovation, that's where it leads to impact in humanity. And when from our core, our purpose is aligned with, we are going to touch humanity, we are going to bring a really big difference and positive difference into people's lives. It doesn't matter if it is art, technology, science, research. It has to come. It has to empower humanity only. So I would say technology, art, these are completely indispensable than each other. They are not two separate worlds. I would say purpose is not a byproduct of innovation, and innovation without technology is just not meant for human being. It's always innovation, technology have to gear towards humanity and serving humanity. So that's what it is, and we need to empower and more women, especially because we bring a different lens to every problem in the world. We see it in a through a different lens and bring a different perspective to every notion that we have. And women, I'm not just gender biased, but still saying because women are really underrepresented. So we have to bring them forward and give them the chance to bring their inner purpose, which is aligned with serving humanity, bring it forward, give them more encouragement, more platforms, and collaboration platforms specifically, where they can empower each other, they can collaborate each other, and bring the best out in the world. Because the heart, the intelligence without the heart is not doing anything. Heart with intelligence serves the humanity. So
Amazing. We're not done. We have one more question for you. All right. So you're pioneering across multiple industries, from AI to blockchain to fine art. How do you define ownership in this new economy, and what principles guide how you build companies that empower creators and users alike?
So, Tamara, that's a wonderful question, because in the whole daytime also, we heard a lot about the entertainment industry, the user-centric marketings, shopping, and up that aspect, right? But when we just think about entertainment industry, technology is not just limited to that. It is technology is everywhere: healthcare, education, art, literature, travel, tourism, everything, right? So when we talk about every industry, we are really catering the technology and dealing with people with diversity. So when we are including every different races, different colors, and different perspective of different several countries and regions of the world, then we are bringing different perspective to what we're building. And when you're building something for humanity, and it is including everyone's opinion and their best wishes, their best effort into it, their purpose they're built with, then we are going to really do wonders. So I believe in that, and more of those cultures, more inclusion should happen in workplaces. And why to stop, especially women? Just bring your best energy forward to serve the humanity, and we will see miracle on earth.
Amazing. Thank you, Roshni. So I'm hearing a lot of inclusion with this group, empowerment, a lot of inspiring leaders in this space. And now the final panelist is going to bring a different spin to our panel. She is an attorney in the crypto space. Greer. Now, Greer, what are some of your predictions from a legal and a regulatory perspective about where things will be heading in the next year in the Web3 and digital asset space?
Thanks, Mara. So, tough question given how fast everything. You guys not here? How fast the area is developing, the answer changes on a daily basis. But I'll do a plug for myself and my colleagues sitting here. That's what we're here for as the lawyers. to help all of you innovators mitigate that risk and track what's happening and how quickly it's changing. So I'll just introduce them quickly. Kelly, Stephanie, and Sarah, we're all in slightly different areas, but we cross the spectrums between intellectual property law, hedge funds, litigation, investigation, and then anything that touches cryptocurrency, AI, Web3, we can help you all out with. So on the prediction area, I predict that, and we're already starting to see it, a lot more clear guidance to be developed and a lot more clarity in legislation. For a while now, those in the space have been left guessing where the laws and where the regulations are going. A lot of those in the industry have had to track what we call regulation by enforcement, and that means government regulatory bodies are pursuing actions and enforcement and legal measures against entities when they think they did some wrongdoing. And so those in the space have had to piece together what happened in those actions to figure out where the law was heading. In this administration, there's been a big push, as I'm sure some of you all have heard if you've been tracking the crypto news at all, in developing a more robust formal framework in the area that provides clarity so people know where it's headed. So as an example, some buzzwords, the Genius Act was just passed in July of this year, which created the first federal robust regulatory regime for stablecoins. And the Clarity Act is pending, and no pun intended, it's seeking to provide a lot of clarity in the digital asset space, such as how assets should be classified. Do they be classified as securities, commodities, neither, and which regulatory body would govern them. So other predictions from the legal perspective you might be interested in. Enforcement. There's been a lot less of it, at least that's what word on the street is. But what we've been seeing in our area is that there's been much more of a focus on real fraud, real market manipulation, real money laundering, violation of AML, KYC regulations. Less of a focus, they're far and few between recently in if you're registering or not. Another area that I'm gonna set a prediction for is continued, this one's not that surprising, but continued entry into the market. But where my prediction is interesting is just how many people I anticipate it's gonna touch. So of course we're gonna have all of the entrepreneurs, all the startups that have been in the space, a bunch of new ones that are probably gonna become household names in the near future. But we also anticipate that there's going to be a lot of TradFi, traditional market players, and we're seeing a lot of that starting to enter and seeking increased exposure and increased partnership. I also anticipate that there's going to be a lot more IPOs in the space.
Amazing. Thank you, Greer, for that perspective. Now, I think for your next question, you wanted to opt it out to the audience. What are some legal questions that you've been grappling with in the space, recognizing you don't have time to respond to the answers to all these questions? It would be interesting to hear what questions and issues you're all dealing with.
Yeah, so I thought I'd preview. I know I'm holding you guys back from dinner, so I don't think we're going to have time for a full Q&A with legal advice right now, but I'm happy to provide some of the questions that we're getting faced every day, and then if these resonate with you all and you want to talk to me or a member of my team, happy to chat later tonight. AI, as you can imagine, there's a lot of questions in that area, particularly around ownership and who owns the data, the input that's training the AI models. What happens if AI infringes on intellectual property rights? Who's held liable? These are the types of questions that we're seeing in AI. In crypto, there's a lot of questions about ownership and how to best hold your assets so that they're safeguarded. Do you hold them in self-hosted wallets? Do you trust them on exchanges? Who's liable if exchanges gets hacked? if an exchange goes bankrupt, does your crypto become property of the bankrupt estate, or do you still hold on to it? And then how to deal with the fact that everything is becoming globalized. Which jurisdictions, rules, regulations, and laws govern? So those are just some of the areas that keep us up at night, helping our clients.
All right, amazing. Well, thank you to our amazing panelists for such a diverse perspective in this space. And now I won't keep us all from dinner, so please enjoy dinner and the rest of the cruise, and look forward to chatting with everyone.
They're gonna stop serving it.
Keynote speaker, Adley Kinsman, founder and CEO of Storyhouse and Viralish.
Hello, hello! Everybody, what an honor and a privilege it is. All I can do at this point is just echo what an honor and privilege it is to be with you guys tonight, to be in a room with such world shapers and thought leaders, and put faces to names and innovations that I've only respected from afar. My name is Adley. In a nutshell, my team and I are very privileged to create and distribute some of the most viewed content across your social media feeds every single week. And through doing that, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about human attention. You learn a lot about what gets people to stop the scroll. And you learn the difference between signal and noise. And so I'm very excited to talk to you for just a few minutes about two of my favorite things in the entire world. One being the creation of missions and messages, product and brand that truly shapes the world and makes it a better place. And two, how to get people to know it actually exists, right? Because we can sit in here, we can have these dinners, we can have these meetings, we can come up with solutions that can actually change the world, but none of it matters if nobody knows about it, right? If nobody knows about it. So, quick pop quiz. I'm gonna ask you guys just one true or false question, okay? And when I point to you, just yell out true or false, okay? And the true or false question is, more attention will solve most of the day-to-day problems in your business. True or false? Ready? 1, 2, 3. False. Ooh, mixed bag. Oh, I love it. Well, the answer, my friends, is true. But I mean, that's only based on over 62 billion data points that we've accrued over the last couple of years creating videos for some of the biggest brands in the world. So take it at will. Doesn't mean it's gospel, right? But it is an important fact, because think about it. If you want more high quality leads, more relationships, you need people to know about your stuff. If you want more revenue, you need more leads. If you want to build a brand and you want to exit for millions of dollars, people have to know about your brand, right? It has to be actually utilized. It has to have utility. So, in light of that, in all of these billions of views that we do every single month, 100% organically, for ourselves, for entertainers, for pop culture moments, staging Karens on airplanes, all the way to cooking videos, like you name it, we've created it. It's niche agnostic. And we've been able to do billions of views in organic media consistently and predictably since 2020 based off one simple formula. And that formula is based on psychology. But after everything that we've seen and all of this data, when you have so much social real estate, we create a lot of the content that gets put into major meme pages, right? And so we're helping brands and missions become more culturally relevant. We're integrating them into viral communities at scale. And that's all psychology, right? To make unsexy things sexy. Because we are trained systematically to scroll past out anything that looks like an ad. And so you have to capture people and then psychologically compel them to learn about something they didn't know they wanted to watch. They didn't know they wanted to consume. So you wanna know what my biggest takeaway is after looking at all of this data? The number one takeaway, and still is today, is that there is a difference between what people say they want to watch versus what they'll actually pay attention to. A giant difference between what people say they want to watch and consume versus what will actually grab their attention. Because we can all lie to ourselves and say, oh, we curate our feeds. You know, we only follow really intelligent people. We only consume really intelligent things. But when you come across that cat video, you are gonna stop it, you are gonna watch it, and you are gonna share it with your friends, because that's what we do. We're not on social media, which is where most of the world is getting its information nowadays. We're not on social media to watch a documentary. We're not on there to learn about the latest tax strategy. We're not seeking that out. So if you want to motivate people, you have to meet them where they're at. And you have to earn the right to educate them on your product. And you do that by way of entertainment. And entertainment doesn't mean haha silly. It means disguised value by make it a little bit more surface level, right? Grab them with a shocking hook, you knew that. But there's a very specific way that we design for social media, okay? And then when we started doing 1 billion views a month, we were just making money off Facebook and Snapchat, right? And TikTok, just the ad revenue. But a single video, we just had this single video get us 700 million views and gain us 2 million subscribers on one of our YouTube channels. Do you know how much you would have to pay for that? Traditional advertising to get 700 million views? People worked their whole lives to get 1 million followers, and one little video did it. Imagine if that was shoppable. That would be crazy. I learned so much earlier. I learned so much that, who was it that called out? What was it, you? Who said that live streaming is Zoom, it's FaceTime. Imagine if I'm on Zoom and I can just look at the guy's shirt in the corner and be like, oh, I like that. And it was shoppable. Like, this is crazy. We are in the greatest wave of free advertising that the world has ever seen. And we are in an arms race right now with AI, because if we aren't capitalizing on it, our competitors are. And creators are terrified right now, and they should be. They should be. I guide and I coach a lot of creators. We've made a lot of creators millionaires, teaching them the psychology of attention grabbing on social media. But they're all waking up scared right now because they don't have a playbook, and it's changing so fast. And so our jobs in this room are to talk about the playbooks that we can give them and give them to the people who are speaking to them, right? And so that's the conversation I'm interested in having, if anyone wants to chat later, about how we're crafting these playbooks for creators and passing them through. We coach them every week and give them playbooks. But with that, there is a social responsibility to do right by them, right? There's moral guidelines, you know, there's moral compassing that has to happen. And that's why I'm so excited to be in this room, because I can tell that there's genuine concern and care and delicateness in the way that we're handling these conversations and really loving the future of humanity. This is not a selfish room, and I can feel that. But I also say they should be scared, because what I used to have to hire 15 actors for to create these videos, they came to my house every day, and we had a fake courtroom upstairs, and we had a cooking channel going on over there, and we've never shot a viral video on anything other than an iPhone or a Ring camera. Amazon delivery drivers doing amazing things. Amazon delivery drivers giving birth on the stoop. Crazy stuff. That's what people want to watch, but you have such an opportunity for brand integration, right? But what I used to have to hire 15 actors to come over and do to produce billions of views, my husband started a new channel last week. We're about 14, 15 days in, and we've generated over 107 million views in the last few days. In 2 hours a day with AI. The same scenes we were creating before, he could like literally lay in bed and just create this. The opportunity for brand integration, I don't have to ship creators' product and be like, oh my God, you held it and the brand was facing that way. We don't have to do that anymore. He just sat right here and made something for one of our brands, and it was the funniest, coolest thing. And people used to get mad at us because we're not used to seeing scripted on social. That was reserved for television. But we don't care about scripted, actually. So people can call fake all they want on the internet, but they're still watching it, right? We watch WWE and we know it's fake, right? But we're entertained by it. And that's what I mean when I say there's a difference in what people say they want to watch versus what they'll actually pay attention to. They may say they don't like it, but it compels them and they can't stop watching. You guys ever been raptured by a video, especially on Facebook, that you're like, this is such trash and wasted 3 minutes of my life? I'm so sorry. I deeply apologize to everybody in this room, because there's a 99% chance I've created, been in those, or commissioned those videos that waste 3 minutes of your life. But as a marketer, I couldn't not, because I'm like, why are people watching this mindless I'll call it what it is. It's trash. But as marketers, we also will call it what it is, which is compelling. Not by its street name, which is cringe. We will call it compelling content because that's what it does. So, because we want to use our powers for good, how can we create that content that we know raptures attention and use it for good, right? How can we tell your missions, your solutions, your tech enablement and integrate it into where the eyeballs are at such scale? So that's the problem that I'm trying to solve. And I do have one solution, okay? And it's the solution that I'm most passionate about because I do believe that if you entertain people, you can earn the right to educate them on whatever you want. Okay? And we have opportunities right now with social media, with the types of numbers that I've described that we're literally doing and generating every single day, that we can create branded content containers that are relinquished of pitch fatigue. Right? Look at, here's a perfect example, Hot Ones. You guys know Hot Ones?
Yeah.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, it's an interview show and there's hot buffalo wings. And so the questions get harder as the sauce gets hotter. Very simple, very repeatable, very scalable. And the coolest part is, there's so many cool parts when you actually break down the psychology of why this works. But you have the celebrity, they're answering questions we want to know, but the questions are getting harder, so we have a retention anchor, right? And they're being real because their mouth is bleeding. They're like, they're becoming humanized by way of this process that we can relate to. And naturally, we are learning what these sauces are and their value prop and what they're like and everything about them because we created a world around the product. You have no pitch fatigue. You learn about these sauces as you just naturally consume the entertainment. And then you sell it for $86.5 billion like they just did. Buffalo sauce. That buffalo sauce, you guys, is nuts. Dude Wipes has this amazing branded entertainment thing they do where it's on socials and they'll have like a fake UFC ring in some dude's garage or backyard, okay? And it's this makeshift UFC ring and they'll take breakable things like 2 toilets or a bottle of Tito's and a bottle of Jack Daniels and they'll just swing them and see who breaks, like who's stronger, like a UFC fight. But they narrate it like that. They're like, oh, back to the instant replay, and that Tito's takes it again. And the whole thing's just branded Dude Wipes, and they're wiping down the players, the bottle of Tito's with Dude Wipes. Hundreds of millions of free impressions by entertaining people. And that's how they took over the butt wipe category, right? And that's how their valuation is crazy. But this branded entertainment, if you can create entertainment containers and meet people where they're at on the number one way we're getting our information and where our attention is every single day, you can genuinely influence the world in such a better place. So that's the mission that we're on, is to help companies act more like creators. Brands have to act more like creators and less like companies if they want to survive, okay? So, cheers to all of you guys. Thank you for listening to my passion point. I would love to talk to each and every one of you about it. Cheers to everyone in this room's imminent success.
Thank you, Adley. The next panel discussion is actually Empower Her Future, Capital, Innovation, and Web3 Leadership. Our moderator is Stephen Mead, CEO and founder of Green Wave Funding, with our panelists being Marina, founder and CEO of SkillRise Education, Olive, partner at Funworthy Venture, Kelly Ann, founder and managing partner of Alternative Wealth Partners.
We're going to cover some different ground here, just for edification on my side. The questions are probably going to be a little different. I come from an entrepreneurial background. I started probably 30 companies, about 15 were the first one in the world to have ever done something. And I believe in something called retrospective evolution. It's how do you look backwards to figure out what works and then move forward. And then we studied a lot of what makes things successful. And almost invariably, when you talk to people and they say, what's the most successful thing in an investment? What do you normally hear? Starts with a T. Talent or team. It's really not. It's timing. So team, timing, and technology accelerate everything to make you more successful. If you're too early, it doesn't work. You can try and try and try. You know, if the team is great and the technology sucks or the timing isn't there, it doesn't matter. And so that's some of what we're going to cover today. We're going to start at the other end with Marina. This is on the education side because this is actually a little different. We're going to talk about investing side, but okay, Yasmin's here too. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll make our way down. So Marina's company is great. They do a lot with education, and we're going to talk about what they're doing, but how it relates to the future leaders. And I was telling her earlier, we did this years ago with Rockefeller where we tried to find kids who knew how to game and program. And we based it on their programming skill, not their SAT scores. And so there's really a unique way with what they're doing for education, and I want her to talk about that and how it builds the future leaders of today.
I want to thank Jim so much. I think, as far as I know, I'm the only one speaking on AI in education, even though it's a Web3 Gala for women, and thank God we're here because only 2 to 3% of us are funded. So guys, like, we really need, if you're here to help us, let's do this. Let's make women Web3 and AI in education and beyond something serious. But Jin is someone that I really respect, and obviously you guys do too because you're here. She lives and breathes this wild idea that education breeds confidence. I think I'm here for that. If you're here, yes. And confidence breeds hope. And hope breeds peace. And this is something that Confucius said, and she lives by this. And I admire this about her. And I'm so happy to be here presenting for our new company, Skillrise Education, which is all about AI education and literacy. I just want to share that by 2030, I'm sure most of you guys read the news and the Financial Times, so you already know, but as a reminder, 950 million people will use AI tools by 2030. 78% of those roles already require AI. And yes, this could sound like a problem because the people in this room are very resourceful, but we also have to think about our cousins and our family and our community and our friends that are not in this space, right? And so Skillrise Education has created something very unique. It came very organically. It's a very green field. I'm also new in this space. I've been an educator. I was an educator in Japan and Spain, but honestly, guys, like, I don't know how I got into this field. But here I am, and my co-founder is here as well. Silent co-founder, you can meet him. He's awesome. Long story short, in 6 weeks' time, from June, we piloted a cohort in Trinidad with my partner, who's sadly not here today. And the kids went from 0 tech skills, like some of them could literally copy and paste, I swear to God. And in 6 weeks' time, they were building professional grade websites, engineering level. They were building applications. And this gave us the idea that we needed to create something for the masses. And thank goodness to the incredible people I've met over the past 3 years. Previously, I was in Spain and Japan. Morocco and Japan, so it was a little different. Not as techy as I am today. And the people and the engineers I met from Galvanize, from Alpha School, which is all over the news these days. From Lambda, which was in a YC Combinator, all these incredible people, I don't know how, but they've partnered to create these amazing curriculums. And we can now educate people, students from 14 to 25, this is who I'm partnering with, and skills that will take them from 0, if that's where they are, to completely coherent in AI literacy. This is really important. We're here to talk about democratizing AI and Web3. Of course, we have some partners that are doing things on Rail. We have, for example, an endowment on a subnet. Feel free to ask questions about this. But the point is, there's so much opportunity right now with the communities that we have available to us to really bring AI literacy and education responsibly to the masses. We are partnering with people that are enabling us to do this at crazy prices that are so low that you wouldn't even bat an eye. The future is there for us if we want it to be. Like I said, in 2030, there will be so many people using AI in their businesses, and if we help them have these skills, if we help them upgrade their skills, they're going to be feeling very confident in this new economy. That's what I've built, and I can't wait to hear what the others are doing too. So, thank you.
That's a little bit of what we were leading towards, is the future leaders need confidence, but they also need competency. And the tools of technology are a great democratizer for education and accelerating skill sets. It also is a great democratizer for accelerating capital. And the innovation of capital, I fought with VCs forever. And we were talking about this earlier. How many of you have heard the statistic of the 3% women are funded, right? Only 3% are funded.
It's less than 2.
It's less than 2. But the number is actually a fallacy because the number of women that present is also very small. But statistically, out of the women that present, they historically perform better than the men. So capital constraints are broken in a good way because now there's all kinds of new ways to access capital, one of which is called crowdfunding, Reg CF. That's not only crowdfunding for gifts, crowdfunding for t-shirts, but crowdfunding for equity is the killer component. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Al.
Thank you. Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Olive and I'm a partner at Fundworthy Venture Studio. We work with founders with exits over 30 million or have had IPOs or public exits in the past. And something that I really love about what we do is we don't just do one type of fundraising, because of course we don't have an internal fund, but we work with a lot of funds, but we also use other strategies. There are so many ways to raise money. Now, how many people here are founders? How many female founders in the room? Can I see hands? All right, first of all, awesome. I love to see it from a female founders, but there's just so many ways, and one of the ways where it has been incredibly democratized in the past has been Reg CF community campaigns. So your WeFunder, your Start Engine, and what I love about those is that they're accessible to everybody. Now I know they're a huge pain. There's a lot that goes into them. There's a lot of marketing. There are dollars up front, but it is absolutely possible to make anything like that work for you and to raise capital. I mean, where's Adley? Is she here? Yeah. I mean, if you need marketing, you got like there's ways to do it, and there's ways to really get it out there. And what's also so strong about it is that a lot of times, especially if you're B2C, you're able to communicate with your audience that is not only your investors and your shareholders, but they also can become your customers in the future. So you create this really nice closed loop relationship for people that are actually buying your product or also investing in you too. So I love crowdfunding. In terms of Web3, what I think is really cool is that there now are some Reg CF campaigns and crowdfunding websites and platforms that are on the blockchain and utilize all of the different things like smart contracts and whatnot, and voting as well. So there are ways that we are really working towards incorporating all of those principles into the space. But I just really want everyone to know that there's so many ways to get funding, and never give up.
Again, I'm going to make I'm pedantic on wording, and we're going to make a distinction here. The WeFunders and Yancey's company, which is Kickstarter. The Kickstarters of the world are really gifting platforms. Crowdfunding, when you hear the statistic 3% of females are funded, they're technically talking about an equity investment, a venture investment, an angel investment. The Reg CF, the regulation CF, and the attorneys are here to keep us in line. Those are equity components. And normally you needed to go to San Francisco. I argued with Tim Draper years ago. The guys in Malta said, what can we do to be like Silicon Valley? And he said, oh, nothing. We're the capital of innovation. And I said, no, you're the capital of capital. Meaning the innovators come to you and beg for money. And that system is now broken because you can do so much with technology you couldn't do before. But it's not as simple as just launching out there. It's what technologies do you have with AI and social, and how do you connect with your audience? Because your audience is technically your investor. They are your best investors. And in the real world, what I call the real world, that's a direct public offering of equity. Then you've got tokens. It's all the same thing. We're going to switch to Kelly because I think this is going to be more about asset management than asset investing from what I read. And I'm a big proponent of that too. People ask me all the time, should I invest in Bitcoin? I said, it depends. What's your risk profile? Has nothing to do with yes or no. What's your risk profile? Because that dictates how you look at investing. And with that, I'll pass it to Kelly.
Thank you. I'm Kellyanne Winger. I'm the founder and CEO of Alternative Wealth Partners. We're a private equity company out of Dallas, Texas. I've been exclusively in the alternative space for over 15 years. 5 generations in oil and gas, so I was going to end up here whether I liked it or not. And the one thing that I've been able to experience over the last 15 years of my career, and ultimately leading into family office and then starting my own thing, is that I've worked on over 250 different private placements, and I've raised almost $1 billion in private capital, $100,000 at a time. So it takes a lot of work to raise capital, and all the founders in the room, yes, there are many ways to raise capital. I have a lot of opinions about Reg CFs, but that is one way you could do that. I can tell you that the tax work on it's a bitch. So, excuse my language, but it is. As a fund manager, we get to experience all these back office issues that, as the portfolio companies we invest in will never know. But just like you guys looking for LPs, we are also looking for LPs and manage our LPs' expectations. We kind of fall in this in-between space of fund management and wealth management because we exclusively focus on the alternative strategy. We talk to our clients about everything from tax strategy to impact investing. There are a lot of really sad statistics about women getting funding, and the numbers actually getting worse. There is a documentary called Show Her the Money that discusses all of these issues regarding women getting funding, and it's not necessarily women aren't coming up with the opportunities. Women are starting more businesses than any other demographic, and specifically women of color. So with COVID, that was the opportunity for women to really kind of step out on their own and find ways to, they were the ones that were being cut from the workforce, so they started making businesses. I think for investors, the investors in the room, you can really think about, okay, I want to put money to work and I want to support these diverse founders. If you don't have a lot of experience doing the individual assets, like looking for a portfolio company supporting a single founder, or if your risk profile is not, I'm going to write a $25,000 check and it's going to be lit on fire by somebody, then I would look at funds. I think maybe everyone up here is managing a fund in some capacity, but that's a great way to get started if you want to have exposure into a high-risk space like venture capital, is to support an emerging fund manager, because representation matters. And so when you have a fund manager that looks like their portfolio companies, that's a massive opportunity to get into a more diverse portfolio than if you were to go to the traditional venture capital funds.
Yeah, thank you. And we're going to come back around with a second round of questions, because I'll have one specifically for you, Kelly. Yasmin, you were supposed to be sitting next to me, so we didn't know that you were back there. I'm glad you made it. Thank you very much. I'm going to let her introduce herself, only because, did you guys see the name of her company? Chief. No? Okay. This is the coolest name of a company that I want her to describe. I'm not even going to say it. I'll let her do it herself. Here, Yasmin, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if he's talking about Chief Mama Officer or Miracle Capital. So I'm a founding partner of Chief Mama Officer, which is a movement to help make the lives of working moms more enjoyable. So 2% of VCs are women, probably 1% are moms, maybe 0.1% are full-time single moms. I'm all three, and I'm launching my own fund. And so I'm partnering Miracle Capital with Chief Mama Officer to describe that I'm probably not going to lead this fund the way that 99% of fund managers do, right? I might do more stuff remotely. I'm bringing my 6-year-old as the chief child innovator. He's incredible, right? I'm taking a percentage of the fund and putting it towards a nonprofit called Miracle Kids, where I want to get the voices of orphans from all over the world and refugee children from all over the world to find out what kind of future do they want to build, right? Because we're VCs, we're adults, and we're saying, oh, we're going to invest in all these companies, but really we're building a future for children. So I want to hear all of their voices, and I bet that it'll validate my thesis, which is to invest in a future, a healthier future for humanity. So water infrastructure, food infrastructure, energy, healthcare, and I bet that a lot of children are going to say that those are their number one problems, and I think it'll be very interesting to show that that's what we're investing in.
So we're going to go back down the line now, and I don't want to get too wonky on numbers, but when you look historically, women, and this isn't pejorative, this is just by default, a lot of times women start businesses that are more lifestyle businesses, and men tend to start ones that may be more technical. And so as an investor, how do you manage the valuation of what you're looking for from an output or a return? Because a consumer product business is going to have a different output than an AI or a software. So how do you manage your portfolio and looking at it, especially if women are bringing you things that may or may not have that multiple that other people are looking for? What's your profile when you look at an investment structure?
So I've managed a portfolio of over 200 companies at the family office I was at for over 700 years. I think that it's not that women don't make as good returns. I think it's that a lot of us don't talk about the money. We actually talk about the impact, but it doesn't mean that the returns aren't going to be a byproduct. And I think making these conversations more acceptable and having a cultural shift towards talking about how are we helping, so that instead of on social media, you're seeing like, they raised 100 million, they did this, they did stuff next. It's like, how many lives did you help? What problem did you actually solve? And so I think having those conversations and knowing that the revenues will come as a byproduct, but maybe not leading culturally with those conversations is actually okay. So I answered that a little differently, but.
Yeah, good.
We don't have a gender or race mandate in our funds. We are, kind of industry agnostic and stage agnostic. We just like a good deal. And so the statement I made about representation matters is that when you look at an all-white male investment committee, the pipeline to deals is probably going to look pretty close to that. So when you have a little bit more diversity on your team, more founders are going to seek you out that have that diversity. When we're looking at portfolio companies, I go out specifically and seek out not necessarily diverse founders, but I want to find somebody who's thinking about a problem in a really, really interesting and creative way, and allows me the space to structure the deal that comes with all these other incentives so that the return matches the impact. Because you have to do both, and that's the only way you're going to achieve the alpha to compete with some of these other things that are being run.
Anybody that wants to do research, we tried to do this, and again, timing and technology, I think with the chat AI, you could do a lot more research. What we were fascinated at when we were looking at the demographics was the actual performance and success of women-owned businesses is higher than men, although the multiple output may not be the same. So when you look at it, if you're a true portfolio manager, you say, I know out of 10 investments to a bunch of white kids out of Stanford, one might make it, one will do okay, and the rest are going to fail. If that was the same thing across 10 women, if 4 or 5 of them are successful but the returns aren't the same, your delta's better. And so looking at it differently, I think if we really contextualize how you look at the output and what that output is, whether it's success, whether it's completion, whether it's impact on families or business or kids, it's a different metrics that I want us to look at. But to do that, you still need funding. So Olive, yes, Reg CF is hard. People ask me all the time, oh, why don't you just do crowdfunding? It's a lot of work and it's social, but it is a unique structure. Talk about what it could do for women, because the biggest capability now is you can go direct to your customer, you can go direct to your fans, and you can fund your own capabilities, especially in the early stages when you need people to believe in you. How does it work with what you guys are doing?
So if I am going to use a Reg CF raise with a client, I think what's really, really important to think about is their story and how you're able to use that. I come from a storytelling background, and I think what's so important is that you're not only selling your company and your product, but you're selling you. And I think so. Something we were actually talking about during dinner is, Kevin O'Leary says that 2 of his best investments ever from Shark Tank, they were women. And a lot of people hear that. A lot of people know that while you don't see as many women founders out there, you do see the ones that are doing things are doing really well. So women have an opportunity through, when you have the ability to talk directly to your investor and customer, you can use your story in that. And you're also not talking to, it's a very different conversation you're having with, somebody that finds your Reg CF campaign compared to an institutional investor. And we're going to talk to them about having a different conversation where something like the story and like the numbers are not as imperative and important, especially if we're looking at, $1,500 checks compared to 100,000. So it's a very different ballgame, and by no means is it easy. I will never ever say it is, but yeah.
Perfect. And then we're going to finish on this one with Marina, because this is about the ownership economy. And again, retrospectively, we've tried to do direct advertising. We've tried to do a lot of these models for years, and the timing just wasn't there. And now you can, whether it's live commerce, whether it's animation, AI animation studios, the ability to do a starter video using AI and animation to tell a story is going to be a game changer. But the key one that was talked about earlier, and we're big proponents of this as well, is now you can create your own IP. If you're going to write a book, you can write your own book. You can publish your own book. You can now create your own trailer. You can create your own film using AI, and you can go direct distribution on a TikTok or an Instagram. So thinking about ownership differently when you start learning the skills is going to change an entire generation. And it's going to completely change the way we think about things, and that's all going to start with what they learn. So Marina, you're going to close us out. What's the coolest part about what you guys are teaching kids, not only about what they're learning from a code standpoint, but from a future leader?
I think the coolest thing that we're teaching people is that they have agency over their lives. And this is the most important thing. I mean, I don't want to talk about COVID, guys, but obviously that did take a bite out of our confidence. And bringing people these skills just reminds them that if they want, these tools are available for them. They're very, very available. And we're so honored to be able to provide these tools for people to take and access and build with and grow and completely nurture their lives in a whole new way. And this is, that's the exciting part for me. But just finally, because I know we're talking about investment here, I've been on the other side of investment. That's even how I was brave enough to launch this thing. And all I know is this whole space is about relationships. And if we just start cultivating relationships with people that matter, magic happens. That's all I really want to say.
And so we're going to end on that. Everybody, so last 10 seconds for each one. I'll start with Yasmin. For this group here to help you, what's one thing that you would ask this group to help you with? And we're going to end with that for everybody for the last second or two. She's thinking. Marina, because you had told me some of the things, so we'll start down here. One thing where the group can help you.
All right. I mean, the reality is we haven't even fundraised yet. We've been alive for like 4 months. If any of you guys care about AI and education and you want to help bring this into the individuals, obviously we're going to be making profit from white labeling and B2B, and that's where we hope. But we really want to help everybody, from senior citizens to teenagers to people entering the workforce. If you care about this, let's connect. There's so much we can do together.
Help me by letting me help you. I would love to hear about your ventures. I would love to hear about what you're looking to invest in. We really love AI, Web3, and crypto projects, but I would just love find me after, and I'd love to just hear what everyone's doing, because that's, Venture Studio's in the middle of all of that. So that's what I'd love. Thank you.
If you're a founder, I do sit on a couple nonprofits that help founders through this process of creating, building, and funding their businesses. So come find me and I'll tell you where to go for that. If the investors are in the room, if you've got a 6-figure tax problem and you want to be invested in this space, I'm your girl.
If you want to invest in Miracle Capital, go talk to that tall guy with the hat on right there, and we'll help point you in the right direction.
All right, perfect. All right, give everybody a hand. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our next session reminds us that true innovation is built on inclusion, when men and women rise together to lead with empathy and shared purpose. This session, He for She in Web3 Collaboration for Collective Impact, is moderated by our co-host of Women in Web3 Gala, Sara Kazimi, founder and CEO of the World Orphanage Foundation. Please welcome our distinguished panelists, Armin Savetta, founder and CEO of Shadecraft Robotics, Mo Ali, founder and CEO of Catalyst, Inc., Luis Roelis, founder and CEO of Social Shopping Network, and Dr. Neil Anand, professor of orthopedic surgery and director at Cedars-Sinai.
Let's hear how collaboration, compassion, and collective action can drive equality and innovation forward.
How is everyone feeling? That's the energy I'm looking for. Great, now I can sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here and co-hosting with Jing. I know Jing for 4 years. We've been traveling to China, to COP28, to New York, just so many countries together. And as founder of World Orphanage Foundation, Global Agricultural Development, Leo Bella, which you've seen some of the items downstairs. It's all about unity. For me, tonight is more than gathering. It is a movement of unity, shared purpose, and collective leadership. We are here because we believe the future of innovation and the future of technology must include compassion, equality, and humanity, and consciousness. We must become united together. First, consciousness, our energy and frequency will know that in order to help digital age, Web3, and understand how to collaborate all of this together. I'm going to have each and every one of our speakers to introduce themselves first and share a little bit about their mission and vision.
First, I just want to say thank you for letting me be in this room, right, with such talented women with brilliant ideas, right? It's just good to be in the same room and to hear, right? A lot of times we're assuming like this is what you need, but it's good to just hear this is Ashley. Nobody here is asking, oh, I need an idea, right? It's this is the support I need, I'm already here, right? So what I've benefited in my career, I worked in beauty and fashion and investment banking. My leaders, women, Muge, who's now the CTO of Nike, Stacy Bow, who's the Chief Merchandising Officer of HSN, right? My sister, who's creating Fortnite projects for Nike, Massimo Ali. So I've benefited from learning from women of how to be a better leader, not just for men, but for the world, right? We're all in different pronouns and all of that. So that is what I want to do in any organization, right? Like, not give people a seat at the table. Maybe women want to stand and they don't want to sit down at the table, right? Who are we to define things if we're in a collaborative environment, right? So that is what I love about this, is that there's people taking photos of art in the moon, right? People studying things, like things that I never even thought of. So I'm that much better now. So what I'm here to do is commit to being a better ally, right? For not just today, but in the future, right? Because the stats, I could look at stats all day, they don't matter. I just need to talk to the person to my right and to my left. The system is broken. I don't need to see a statistic to learn that, right? And so that's what we need to do a better job, including myself. Just ask, what is it you need today versus assuming, right? So that is what I'm focused on. But I mean, I work on Catalyst and I work with a lot of creators coming from all walks of life. Some people can't pay their electric bill because the Wi-Fi is too high, the bill's too high to run creator lives, right? So what we're trying to do is provide education so they can actually provide for their families, right? Regardless of geographic location or their education. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to actually do I want each one of my panelists to have 2 minutes for each questions and introduction, because I want to engage each and every one of you. So whatever question you guys will have for our panelists, if you can just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, a little bit about your company, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to thank Jing and Sara for the invitation to come here today. It's a complete honor seeing a lot of familiar faces that I know from all walks of life. Women at the table that we're sitting here enjoying dinner with, Ezra. I want to thank Yuri and especially Adley, close friend. But I am the CEO of a company called Social Shopping Network. We basically are re-engineering the way social life shopping is being done today in America through creating like the next gen QVC. I'm a proud husband, father of 4 stepdaughters. My son is here in the audience tonight. But one thing I just want to say, like it's really powerful to be around a lot of strong women and that have a lot to stand for. And I'm actually one of these guys, and I hope this doesn't sound too corny, but my wife is kind of famous, and I'm not, right? I'm just a regular guy. But when I walk into rooms with her, and I was just telling you this a little while ago, when I walk in rooms with her, sometimes people may see me as this masculine man sitting with a jacket or slick back hair, and what nobody really knows is that I source my power from my wife. I really, it's not just infatuation, it's not love, it's the fact that like I'm not afraid to be vulnerable in saying the truth about that.
Hold on, no, we need to rewind it and record it for the live.
Every guy in the room is done. I do want to give her credit for that because my wife is a big reality star. It's kind of tough at times being her husband because you get criticized a lot, you get judged, and for absolutely nothing. But when I met my wife walking in this, and she's one of the most powerful women next to my mother that I know, right? My mother was married, but it felt like she was a single mom, and I grew up with a lot of trauma as a guy and a lot of like displacement when it came to, like finding my masculinity, but also being feminine, having a feminine side. So I think that's one of the first things my wife told me about myself. She's like, you're really masculine, but you're also very feminine, right? And when you're a guy, you hear that, and you don't know how to take that. But I actually understood that because my mother's been is a therapist for like 32 years, and kind of taught me what that meant. So it was actually a really big compliment because I wanted my wife to feel safe and and trust me and know that allow me to love her where it's real and allow myself to accept love from her as a woman, because it's sometimes hard for guys to not be all masculine. So I may look like that masculine type. I was just telling one of the women at the table that, but I'm actually I don't operate well without like my wife's own confidence or inspiration, because it really is the source of my power. My 4 stepdaughters, they own my heart. It's really incredible, like to step into a role, and
that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Anand. It's such an honor to have you here.
On that note, every single guy is screwed. But seriously, step from the heart, well said, congratulate you. And I agree. It's very, very refreshing to see a guy on a podium actually say that. And I congratulate you for that, really do. Anyway, hello, good evening. I'm surprised you guys are still here. It's 10 o'clock. Come home. Anyway, thank you for being here. My name is Neil Anand. I'm a spine surgeon and a professor and director at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center of Beverly Hills. Last 25 years. Wow. Complete outlier. I have no idea what I'm doing here. But thank you. I've certainly learned a lot. I really learned. I mean, there's things I didn't even know existed. I didn't know the word. I promise you I looked at Web3 on ChatGPT yesterday. I don't know what Web3 was. I'm not even joking. I'm right for my kids. You didn't look at ChatGPT. She made it, what the hell is Web3? I gotta look at it. I didn't learn something. I learned something. Anyway, so back to what I've been doing is obviously been doing spine surgery, 25 years at Cedars-Sinai, but I do have a foundation through which I do a lot of charity surgery. I travel the world teaching literally every Friday, every weekend. I'm off somewhere. I literally flew in from Washington, D.C. having given a talk this morning and flew down here 3:30, landed here 3:50 actually, landed straight here. But anyway, I enjoy doing that. I have a foundation. I do charity surgery around the world and through the foundation. And I have a very different way of doing charity surgery. And I don't know if we're going to talk of empathy and compassion and how we do that, because I have a very different view of what empathy is. And I don't know if the question's coming up later, or we can talk later about it. But empathy comes in many ways. And but I mean, that's me. And enough about me. If I may take the opportunity, I really want to congratulate and thank Sara and Jing. It was ridiculously amazing.
Thank you.
I'm really honored to be here. Thank you. I'm available. Anyone has questions? I was spine surgeon. You guys are phenomenal.
Thank you. And Sara, thank you. Jing, thank you for having us here. My story's not as impressive, or my credentials. I can't bring it too close. It's that masculinity thing.
We need everyone to hear.
Give him the mic.
Yes.
Take the left. It's louder. I'll take the other one.
Okay, anyway.
Better.
I wanted to thank everyone for having us here, and Sara last minute decided to take the target symbols we were supposed to hang on our necks before we sat here in front of this whole crowd. My background, I was a CEO for many years, about 27 years. My background's in product design, architecture. I was an instructor at Art Center College of Design. Founded a few companies and have been creating different projects throughout the years. And I actually also don't know exactly why I'm here, but I'm honored to be a part of this amazing group. I've been listening to what everyone's been saying tonight, and I think there's a lot of opportunities here, especially with Web3. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about it today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask each one of you a question, and I would really appreciate if you can keep it maximum 1 minute, please, because I think just look at it. If you are in front of a venture capital, private equity, and you got to sell, right? So whether it's humanity, empathy, sales of anything, you have attention capacity for first, I think 8 seconds, right? If you get their attention, you got it. And after that is just going to be, I think so, being in sales for 30 years, it's going to be just kind of blah. But the questions are quite simple. First, I'm going to start with Mo. Mo, as a global digital commerce executive, what role do you think Web3 plays in breaking down barriers for women entrepreneurs globally?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, the clock has started. I think Geneva said it today. It's about access, right? Access to the networks, access to funding, access to incubate ideas and collaborate in an environment that actually leads to things getting done, right? So
I'll take that.
Thank you very much. I'll give you guys the louder speaker since my voice is really loud, and it can get louder too. I will ask Dr. Neil Anand, as medical leader and innovator, how do you see empathy and equality shaping the way we design technology for human well-being?
Well, there's a lot in that question, but empathy, I was going to come to it. Empathy as a doctor is underwritten, right? But unfortunately, even though you guys all be the doctors are empathetic, but 90% are terrible at showing it. Absolutely terrible. So you walk in there and you, what the hell this guy say or she say, right? But actually they are. So there's empathy that exists, and there's empathy that's shown. And that can be very different because you tend to become very professional in your field, and you do matter of fact, and you say what is there, and then maybe time constraints, whatever. You lose that empathy in that. You don't have the time to cry and hold a hand with your patient
that's not there. And that's the unfortunate part of what we do. So empathy is always there. But empathy has to be there in charity, right? Back to charity. So when I do charity a lot, when I go abroad, the reason I brought that up is we changed the old pattern of how to do charity surgery. I did that. Went to Africa, went to the boonies, went to developed countries, Asia, India. We'd be in the middle of the boonies and nothing. And spine surgery is very device dependent. And we don't have it. I walk out and say, what the hell did I do? I just walked in like some big American surgeon, did some crap and walked out. I actually did nothing. But I didn't have the tools to actually make it happen. And that was really sad. And of course, they were happy we came in. It's not like cleft palate. Cleft palate, you don't need a lot of tools. You can go and fix it. Very different as opposed to spine surgery. So anyway, we changed that. We go to the biggest hospital in the biggest city in that country. And believe it or not, they have equipment. They actually do. And then we bring the latest American equipment over, take it with us, and they get the same surgery, state of the art, 2025 or 26, they're free. That's how we change charity surgery around and brought it so they're able to do that. And that's been unbelievably successful. And it's education at the same time. We teach everybody across the board. There are 300 people in the auditorium watching live surgery as we do it. In the US, you can't do live surgery. I can go to Africa, India, Brazil, do live surgery. And it actually broadcasts. So it's really nice, both teaching and charity. So anyway, to me, that's where a lot of empathy comes in, of doing what you can teach, move it forward. Medical development is a totally different question. There's another answer I have to give you, and there's a lot to it. I can't go there.
Thank you. One thing I wanted to mention to our guests, I don't know how much the ones who know me personally, they know I'm the founder of World Orphanage, and I go back and forth to Afghanistan for past 15 years. Even when the government collapsed, I stayed behind. Now, how it relates to Dr. Neil Anand. He's been a friend of mine for over 10 years. And after coming back from Afghanistan 6 months ago, he said, you know what, Sarah? And by the way, he sponsors World Orphanage Foundation because he sees what I do and how I actually create jobs for women. He mentioned that he's going to do a spine surgery for Afghanistan 2026. We've been in contact with Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Afghanistan. I've been directly in contact with Ministry of Health, and we are coordinating to have Dr. Anand fly with me to Afghanistan, provide not only education, but do a free spine surgery for an Afghan woman. So I'm very grateful. I'm going to ask Mr. Lewis a question. As someone leading in social commerce, how do you envision platform evolving to support equality and authenticity for representation?
We got these questions before we came here, so I worked on my answers. That's cool, right? All right. Is that number 2?
That is number 2, yes.
Okay, as someone leading in social commerce, how do you envision platforms evolving and supporting equality and authenticity?
He's still broken up with the Teresa.
No. I see an immense power in these platforms every day, from real world in my life to every day in business. But I really truly believe that the next evolution must be guided by the voices in this room. Progress means platforms moving beyond algorithms that favors who's already allowed, that instead favors who's allowed us. Instead, they must be engineered for equitable discovery, creating features that actively spotlight diverse founders and enforce transparency to weed out the allies. In all honesty, the vision shouldn't come from people like me. It should come from it should be co-created by everyone in this room. The role of the platforms is to become the tools that everyone in this room can use to continue to build. That means providing equitable access and support to everything. This authenticity isn't just a trend, but the very foundation of the next digital economy.
Thank you very much. I'm
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Armin.
Thank you.
I really don't know what to ask you. But let's. Armin is a very special, unique individual. Do you have an example of how do you envision the example you mentioned earlier becoming a tangible product or movement for the change we all want to see? Conversation you and I had. I would love to know the answer to that.
I think there's been a lot of talk about empathy and inclusion. My philosophy in general as an inventor, as a founder, has been to look at asking some prominent questions early on. Why are we creating something? There's a lot of frivolous product out there. So is it about certain tokens, or what is that particular thing eventually going to do, and how is that outcome going to be something that is helping our planet and helping humanity? I think women being so unique, so intelligent, emotionally being empathetic, being nurturers. I have to say, I lost my wife 2 years ago. She was an incredible power in my life. Very strong, was a symbol for me, as well as my mom, who was very strong. She passed away as well. I have two very strong sisters. So I've been around powerful women. In my companies, I don't know if this matters, the highest paid people were women. Without them, I couldn't create the corporate structures that I wanted to. Their intelligence was amazing. However, in this room tonight, I was hearing some things that were, again, maybe teetering on the really transactional side in terms of tokens and this and that, and how do we create a company. So I was wondering, are you guys thinking about Web3, and are we going to have a chance to have people, in that example I was going to give you, really make a change that are not necessarily, no offense, which I have a lot of experience with, venture caps, who have to go to a certain degree based on some generic structure that they follow. But these are going to be actual people in different parts of the world that will make an impact, because they will fund projects that are more empathetic because they grew up in that environment. I want to just give you one little example. My mom, so I've been an overachiever all my life. My sister went to college at the age of 14, professor in New York, very powerful woman. My mom saw all of our accomplishments, and she said, you know, you've written books, you've had companies, blah, 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 your sister did this. I don't care she went to college at 14, but if you're not a great human being and care about other human beings, you are nothing to me. That's the power of women. That's the power of a mother. That is the power that needs to shape Web3.
Thank you very much. Any of our audience have question? Because the next, I want to see if anyone have any question to any of my panelists or myself. Any questions? No? Okay. Yes. Oh, wow.
How many of you put up hands on cryptocurrency? How many own cryptocurrency? Stock anywhere? Hands.
How many people
who owns cryptocurrency in this crowd? Any type, Bitcoin, whatever you want, name it, do you own it? Not bad, not bad. Now, do you buy with it? Do you buy? How many buy with it? Okay. A lot of hands went down, only 5 stayed up. Fair enough, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Mo, I have a question for you. One of the questions that I wrote earlier, obviously. How do you see digital inclusion transforming the future of social?
Going back to inclusion, right? It's just a funny word. Like, men just need to stop treating inclusion as charity and treat it as innovation, right? And so when that mindset shifts, everything becomes equal opportunity there, right? So like with women or men as you were saying, right? It all starts with empathy, but it's like not everything's gonna be successful. It doesn't mean that like women are not qualified, right, to lead it. Like let's just, I mean, everybody, you keep the picture in the like out there in the field because you believe in them, right? So like the belief needs to start with that we can't do it without each other, right? And that's where inclusion starts happening, right? With what you said, empathy, but like just being good people to each other. I mean, it's a very simple concept, right? But we don't have to overthink it, analyze data, whatever. Just wake up the next day and just, how are you doing, really? You know?
I really appreciate it. Louis, if you could challenge men in your industry to take one action today in support of he for she, what would that be? That's question number 3.
Great question. Really good question. I think the first thing I would do to challenge men in our industry is to say, take the risk or lose the chance. I learn this every day. Oh, hold on. Sorry.
And I provided the question 2 days ago.
Yeah, but I'm probably not the smartest guy in the room. That's why I wanted to make sure my answers were good. And I took some time on that. But I learn this every day from my kids. As a guy, I mean, it's not about leading with ego, you know. And with 4 stepdaughters, I tend to stay 6 inches behind them, not in front of them, where I'm overpowering their decisions or just crowding their space. I allow them to like lean into the world the way they want to lean into the world, and in return, the inspiration and fierce love that I get from them is incredible. So a lot of men just have to take the risk. So I challenge men to take the risk of allowing the woman to lead, because that's really what we as men don't give ourselves a chance to realize, you know. Be a source of unwavering support, transfer the influence, make that introduction, pass the microphone, challenge champion that women-led project. Use your platform to amplify yourself, but to amplify the women who are in truth the source of so much of our own strength and success.
Beautiful, thank you. Dr. Anand, Neil Anand. I obviously closed my iPad because I'm not going to ask question off of this, but I would love for you to share something spiritual and something with your work, something that you want the audience to go home today. What would you share?
Spiritual, I don't know. I mean, do I believe in spiritual? Yes, I do. But ultimately, I still got to do the job. I think to me, the greatest satisfaction, spiritually, I call it spiritual, is a patient coming back and saying they did great. There's nothing greater in life than that they got better from where they are, or you changed their life, or you made them better. To me, that is highly spiritual. Just to see that interaction, they come back to the office and they're just so happy about what their life has changed. And yes, spine surgery can change people's lives. And I promise you for the better. Most people do well. Unless you really screwed it up, I think you shouldn't be operating. That's a different story. but that to me, I think, is the most spiritual. I mean, unfortunately, yes. Do you pray every day? Yes. Am I superstitious? Yes. I'm damn superstitious. I have the same routine every morning before surgery. It's almost prescriptive. I'll walk in the morning, I'll see my patient, talk to them, sign up, do our thing. Then I'll go out, look at my x-rays, go to the operating room, make sure everything is ready, and then I walk out and get a cup of coffee. Everybody knows. I go down, get a cup of coffee, I'm by myself, I come back, get my cup of coffee, sit down, then go all the x-rays again before I'm operating. And nobody will touch me. It's been my routine for 25 years. So call it spiritual, call it superstitious, I am. I'm very superstitious about that. And people know that. I'm so superstitious, I use my badge to open the door, even when the door is open. I don't have to why. It's stupid. There's stupid things to do. But it happens. It's like an athlete. It's like a game player, right? There are people who have the same pants. There are athletes who have the same sock for the whole season, for the entire playoffs. You know that? They will not change their sock. Anyway.
Right, this is my turn.
Yes, of course it is your turn.
I can't top off of the stuff, so.
Armin, if you had from venture capitalists, from any fund, there's a lot of venture fund investors here. If you had $5 million that someone is willing to invest in any of your vision, what would it be and why?
Oh boy, I'm gonna shoot myself.
I know. These questions that's why I closed, because they had questions. But I just want to know, if you had access, let's say, to $2 million, what would you create and why?
Well, first and foremost, I would think about what I'm creating. I already mentioned that. I think it's really important to think about what it is that you're making, not necessarily how you're going to do it. I'll give a little example. The new company that I will be launching next year, the impetus and the stimuli for that, and the idea of this product, which will become a very large scalable SaaS project as well as a HaaS project. It's a unique space where both of them combine. Really came from a core feeling that I had when my boys and I were outside. My wife was there, and it was a feeling of wanting to spend more time with them. That was what inspired me to create the product. And everything that I've done, some have been successful, some maybe have not, and I've learned a lot over the years. But one thing I do know that I create with passion and reason and meaning, and I've tried to teach this to my students. So there's a lot of stuff out there with toothbrushes that have LED lights in them, or teddy bears that are communicating to your thermostat, and the thermostat's going to, so the IoT's gone absolutely haywire, because any kind of frivolous product that we can create, we are creating. And it's just to create something, and being an entrepreneur or founder is not enough. You have to think about what it is that you're doing. What Dr. Anand mentioned about surgery, about creating habitats or things that it's not all digital. I think founders should start to think a little bit less about the bottom line and their pockets, and think about the fact that we are actually living in physical space still, guys. I've written a sci-fi book. I love tech. I've had a robotic and technology company, but I'm not living in the digital world with coins. It's not a video game about shopping and likes and dislikes. We have to create real, meaningful things. So I would put it into that. I would put it into my new project.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to have Mo share something, anything that he wants to share with our audience, and please make it short, because we have until 10, and I want to make sure we have time for a little bit of networking. I'm sure each one of you guys want to probably have a contact information from any of the panelists, right? So I will make it super short. Anything you want to share with the audience?
I mean, I just want to say again, thank you, right? Like, from a male perspective, and I mean, partnering with Louis, this dialogue is open, right? And so teach us how to meet you where you need us to be, right? I tell this to my fiance, I can't read your mind, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get where you need me to be, right? So with every relationship we have, it starts with us both leaning in, so help educate us or protect us against ourselves from not wasting more time.
Beautiful. Louis, if there is one thing you could ask from any of these audience that you would need help with, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question.
You don't have it on your phone?
No.
No, these questions are now just coming to me.
I met a lot of really incredibly smart people tonight, and over the last 6 months, and working with a new group here in this room. But I have a child with special needs who's 24 years old. He has autism, and I've been wanting to build something with AI that would allow my son to see himself speak and talk, because he He'll only speak when he's prompted. So if anybody wants to work on a special needs project that would help a lot of kids out there, that I remember Nicholas when he was 6 years old, and he would fight himself and take his head and throw it in the ground. And today, if he was able to look at himself and be impressed of how he could speak and talk and communicate, it would help a lot of other kids get there a lot faster. It's not, I guess, I'm 51 years old today. Yes, we work to make money, but I miss that in my early days of doing something big like that. So
I'm so glad I asked
would love
that.
to do that.
Yes, I'm so glad I asked that question. Recently, I came back from India, and I've been helping disabled orphan children for past 15 years. I took a trip there, and every time I land into any country, I first do my humanitarian work, because everything we own in physical, in title, in money, gold, asset, whatever you're wearing, sweetheart, you guys are not taking those when time is over. So I do that humanitarian, and I met an amazing person. They said, you're helping them, but how are you helping them? I said, I don't know. And they showed me a program. I will definitely share that with you.
Thank you.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I definitely want to give a little bit time for networking, as well as whatever is remaining on our schedule, because I really want each and every one of you who've been a panelist, who've been speaking, I'm sure there are audience, they want to connect with you. So I'm going to ask anybody wants to be on a WhatsApp group to raise your hand. So I would know who, WhatsApp group with just our panelists and speakers. So I know who to connect with who. Anybody wants to be on a WhatsApp group with the guests tonight? Raise your hand. Beautiful. I will have my daughter Bella at the very end while you guys are exiting the boat, so she can take your phone number, and we will create that group so you guys can network. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I want to give more time for networking and for you guys to get to know one another. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's an honor to have all of you guys. Thank you.
Let's all give Jing and Sara a round of applause for a beautiful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Our next speaker celebrates creativity and innovation as forces that shape economies and empower individuals. Please welcome Anna Riabakken, Head of Operations and Governance at the RARI Foundation, presenting Creators Fund. Thank you, Anna, for showing how creators are not just shaping industries, but inspiring global transformation.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here tonight and to close out this beautiful event surrounded by so many inspiring women, innovators, and builders who shape the future of technology. My name is Anna, and I serve as Head of Operations and Governance at RARI Foundation. It's an organization that supports Rarible ecosystem, including initiatives such as RARI Chain and the Rarible Creator Fund. At my work, I focus mostly on building decentralized and transparent governance processes, managing RARI DAO treasury, and empowering the growth of our ecosystem, which includes RARI Chain, which is built for creators and builders in creator economy. And what it really means, we are building infrastructure for creativity, where creators not only launch their projects on chain, but they actually own it, govern it, and create a community around it. And when we talk about Web3, we usually think about innovations in tech, but what really inspires me, it's innovation in collaboration. How people build, create, and fund things together without any borders. And that's where Rarible Creator Fund comes in. So, Redable Creator Fund, it's a 100,000 initiative which was launched by Ready Foundation and Redable together to support creators to bring their projects on-chain. It can be anything from single art to collectibles to brand collaborations or entirely new forms of on-chain creations. And we given up grants of up to $20,000 and the full of-chain support to launch the projects. From strategy, from the launch strategy to the marketing support to technological assistance, anything and everything on every stage of the project. And the working group that selects grants and the grantees is combined of Rare Foundation members, Rare DAO members, and Rareable to make sure that the process stays transparent and community-driven. And so when we talk about this creative, this whole process and program is very special because it's sustainable. The portion of the marketplace fees that are generated by the supported drops, it goes back to the community, it goes back to the DAO, which means if the creator succeeds, it also empowers the community. And so what we really trying to do with the Creator Fund is to remove the boundaries for creators to monetize their work on chain. And create like more sustainable place for them to launch and work and build their own community. So thank you so much all for coming here tonight, for supporting this event. Thank you so much to CSR Foundation, to Jing, and to Sara for bringing all of you here together. And yes, thank you so much. And if you're artist or creator or have a project that you want to move on Web3, the opportunity is here, and we are excited to support you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the wonderful speech, and thank you very much for the Creators Fund. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for our speakers, sponsors, and our partners. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our tonight's sponsor. They're McDermott, Will, and Shooter. Hope I pronounced it correct, sorry. Yeah, we have LAFA, and we have Fast Capital. Thank you for Fast Capital's sponsorship. And also we have Giggle, and we have Suntory, right? Suntory. And thank you very much for all our sponsors. Thank you for everybody to be here. Now it's the time for networking, and you can go up the deck to look at the night view. Hope we can see a few stars. Thank you, Sara, for my partner. Thank you. Have a great evening. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Yeah.